Hey now, Chris Fifo here, your Darwin Perennials and Key Seed Product Rep, and this video is for all of you who couldn't make it to CAST this year. It's been a great event, last day right now. Some of these items here have gotten beat up by the wind and the rain, but we're going to take a look anyway because it has been an exciting week. We're going to start off with Echinacea Double Scoop Deluxe. This is obviously an improvement upon the old double scoops. Used to be very tall, leggy, had a hard time standing up in the pot sometimes. Now these have been bred down to the size of sombreros, sombrero body, sombrero flower count, and sombrero uniformity of flowering. These are on my no-brainer list, super easy to get into flower for Mother's Day or for fall sales. We have brand new colors in the watermelon and the strawberry deluxe. Then we have raspberry and orangeberry deluxe. These are improvements over the double scoop, so we will go ahead and drop those colors from the double scoop assortment. As we do introduce more colors, we will gradually drop the double scoop series completely. One thing of interest that I would like to point out with these Echinacea here, the watermelon here, we just have this one plant and flower. I believe it's looking like it's a little bit later than the others to flower, but this watermelon was planted on the exact same schedule. Everything was exactly the same, but why does this one have flowers and not much of a body on the plant? This one's getting the body and it's just about to flower now with a high flower count. The difference is this plant had a bud on it when it was planted. Premature bud, probably set way down in the crown, and then it just has a strong will to flower before it gets the foliage on the plant. So this is the #1 place I see growers go wrong. Make sure you pinch any premature buds on your sombreros, double scoops, sombrero pocos before you plant them. That way we're going to get the body and the high flower count that these series are known for. Onwards to our next exciting intro. Large containers look absolutely fabulous with these Echinacea. Next up will be our silver collection. The first intro for the silver collection is the best. This one is a rock star. This is Santa Paula Silver Swirl. This is one of those touch me plants. It feels like we picked this up at Hobby Lobby. Rubbery leaves. Silver does not wash off of here. It flowers after cold treatment, but it only has these little inconspicuous button flowers. So it's really not a big deal. It's not going to bolt the first year like Dusty Miller will. So much better use for it. And it's also cutting propagated, not a tissue culture. So that's going to hit a completely different price point with Santa Paula Silver Swirl. Silver doesn't rhyme with anything, but it goes with everything. Match this up in the landscape. Every color, it's going to give it that wow factor. Mixed containers, wow. Pair it with annuals. Okay, I said it, annuals. Wow. Pair it with an Armeria and a Gara in a container. Wow. We even put it with white in a silver pot. Like, really? Monochrome? Wow, it really makes it stand out. Fantastic. Everyone has been interested in this. We are quickly ramping up production for that one. Second introduction for the silver collection will be Salvia Silver Scent. Now this is a sage, and this is a crossover between an ornamental and a culinary sage. After overwintering and early spring under short days, it's going to have this fabulous flower show. Then in the summertime, it's going to be your typical culinary sage, very strong. This is mounded type of growth habit versus upright, so it really does look nice in the landscape. And then the last of the silver collection will be Stacky's Little Lamb. Majority of your stackies are going to get very large, take over a good chunk of your garden. Flowers that get super long, then they'll flop over, not really that attractive. Little Lamb is going to stay nice and tight, matte forming, kind of a ground cover type. This will flower after overwintering with 4 or 5 inch tall, kind of pinkish flowers when it's done flowering. you mow it off, you weed whack it off. It's going to be that easy, and it's going to stay contained. If you want to get rid of it, you will be able to, but you're not going to want to. Onward to lavender. A lot of exciting breeding going on with lavenders. Our flagship for many years has been lavender Anouk. Just traditional Spanish type of lavender, requires a chill to flower. Fabulous springtime performance. So it's a fall plant, overwinter, spring flower. But here is Anouk, our standard Anouk variety. No buds. Why would that be? Obviously, not enough chill. It was an unusual winter out here in California, so we did not get enough chill. We see the rest of these are flowering. So here's the improvement we are sending to the market. More grower-friendly lavender. Less chill required. This is Purple Medley. Has larger flowers than Anouk ever thought about having, and very showy flags that your Spanish lavenders are known for. So we will be dropping Anouks. If you're growing Anouk now, I would recommend getting some trials of the Purple Medley. Just get comfortable with it. It's going to be the same schedule and pretty much everything the same as Anouk, except it's going to be easier to get into flower. Purple Medley. Second one we have is called Twilight. Twilight has super dark flowers, almost black. We can just see some color in this with the bright light shining on it. Two new ones. Twilight is a little bit more compact than the Purple Medley. We think it might require just a little bit more chill than this one as well, since it does have fewer flowers right now. We're still learning about this, but two exciting new ones. More to come in the lavenders. And of course, we can't forget Lavender Primavera. Introduced a couple years ago. This is our top selling Spanish lavender in that it does not require chill for flowering. Flowers all season long, does not cycle out like traditional Spanish lavender does. So we can schedule this for virtually any time of year. It's a season extender for Spanish lavender. Obviously looks fabulous in mixed container, especially when we put it with Caryopteris uptick. And then we have our new little lamb kind of trailing down over the edge. The last couple for 2024. The first is Caryopteris Emerald Crest. We launched Gold Crest a couple years ago. Great gold flower, mounded type of Caryopteris. These are fall bloomers, but we can force these in the spring very clearly because they're short day bloomers. That's what's interesting about Caryopteris. There's a fall item, comes into flower roughly the beginning of September, but early in the season here, under short days still, we can get them into flower. Emerald Crest has some of the brightest blue flowers I've ever seen on a Caryopteris and a very dense flower show. Additionally, these are the #1 pollinator that I have seen out here this week. Bees have been buzzing this plant all day long. I have seen gold crest in the landscape, and I had one grower tell me that gold crest draws every bee from the garden to that one plant. Absolutely amazing performance with Caryopteris Emerald Crest. And then finally, in addition to our Armeria Dreameria series. Dreamerias are known for having these super large pom-pom flowers, a Dr. Seuss looking type plant, and notably, these are first year flowered here. All of your old school Armerias required cold treatment to get that flower. With these, if they do get that cold treatment, that flower show is going to be dense above the foliage, which is this glossy green, evergreen foliage. Absolutely love these. Zone 5 hardy on the Armerias. The Caryopteris is Zone 6 hardy. New for 2024, we're introducing Vivid Dreams, this vivid purple color. Now imagine this after that fall plant. I do prefer these, like grown on the Dianthus scheduling. Fall plant, grow them slow and cool over the winter, and get this massive flower show in the springtime. Now, if you're doing Armeria Dreamerias from cuttings, I would highly recommend doing them as callus cuttings. With the standard URC, I've seen these sit under mist for 4 weeks or more. They don't root, and they don't have the sense to die. They just sit there. So with a callus cutting, we can have these transplantable in 4 weeks. So really look at that. If you're doing any of these, give it a try. I'd be more than happy to send you some samples. You will become a believer in callus cuttings for the Armerias. Now overall for Darwin, we do a tremendous amount of culture research on scheduling before we launch items. This is done in West Grove, Pennsylvania. Sarah Greenwood and her team in product development will plant these items every 2 to 3 weeks throughout the spring and gather a tremendous amount of data on flowering. And most importantly for me is, when is it retail ready? So now we can take all of that scheduling information together, and we've built one master first-year flowering tool. This is making it tremendously easier for growers to get in and schedule their perennials for flowering the first year. And that's been a focus for a lot of our breeding, bringing out the first year flowering without that vernalization requirement. With this tool, all you have to do is go into the individual variety, enter what week you want the crop to flower. It will tell you what week to transplant your liners. It'll tell you what week to stick your cuttings. Now understand, for spring flowering programs, you're going to have to understand where it's developed in West Grove, Pennsylvania. If you're a southern grower, your season starts earlier, you're warmer, higher light, you would probably want to take 1 to 2 weeks off of that springtime scheduling. If you're a northern grower, maybe add a week. A bonus with these perennials is they're flowering considerably longer than the old types used to. So you have a lot more flexibility with the scheduling. But I've heard over and over, for summer and fall programs, tool is spot on because everybody's hot. And so it's very easy then, if you've got a fall perennial program, use this first year flowering tool to help schedule your perennials. After you do schedule your perennial, you click save, go back to your schedule, you can view your schedule, and you can download it in an Excel format. Makes it very easy to put it right in front of you, hand it to production, and there's my perennial program.